seems like everybody really had a strong hand in this game. Obviously, A.J. Brown didn't play because of a tweaked hamstring, and this bye week is going to do really, really good things for him as well, especially with the Eagles going on a potential run these next several games. It's going to be tough, right? You come out of the bye, you got Green Bay, and you got Detroit. So that's not going to be easy. But nonetheless, the Eagles are in a good place. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are exactly where they need to be. And throughout the season, there were people who were wondering or even accusing the Philadelphia Eagles of suffering from the same curse from the 2023 season, just to put it plainly. And I kept trying to tell people, this is not that team. This is not the same situation. This Eagles team, they experienced that already. And you think they would let something like that happen again? Nah, I don't think so. This Philadelphia Eagles team strikes me as the kind of team that learns from their mistakes. They don't really compound them. And overall, they got good leaders in the building. So, again, the Eagles are in a good place right now. The schedule we knew prior to the bye week was going to be a doozy. A lot of people had the Eagles coming into the season starting 2-2 or 1-3. Like, people legit said this. People with microphones, people with suits, people with big budgets said the Eagles may start the season 2-2 or 1-3. Some said the Eagles may start the season 3-3, 2-4. People said these things, right? So you go into the bye week 6-2. Okay, you dropped 2 games you should have won. All right. At least you can look back and say, you didn't play your best there rather than you were outmatched by a team, because they weren't outmatched in any game they played, in my humble opinion. They just happened to not play their best games and honestly just give the games away. So in a perfect world, you could have been 8-0 quite easily. You ended up being 6-2 going into the bye week. I'm not mad at that. You can't win them all. And I think all those losses, the 2 losses, Broncos against the Giants as well, I think those 2 games were signature moments for the Eagles in terms of where they want to take the offense. And I think these past 2 games where you beat the Vikings, you beat the Giants, you've put on tape, you've shown the world that I can throw for 300-plus yards and 3 touchdowns and no turnovers, and we can win like that. I can also take another route and drop 276 rushing yards on you, and my quarterback still throw for 4 touchdowns. Like, the Eagles are showing you so many different prisms to this gem here. And again, we know the first 6 weeks were a little up and down, strong halves, weak halves. You start off strong, then you bottom out in the second half. There was a point in the game where there was a point in the season where Jalen Hurts had a whole half where he didn't complete a pass. Like, the running game wasn't working. The offensive line was not on point. This season, for the first 6 weeks, had a lot of stains on it. But you were still 4-2 nonetheless. You managed to tread water, and now you found your groove going into the bye week. There's going to be a lot of self-scouting. There is going to be a lot of self-scouting throughout these 2 weeks, because I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they still have another gear. They did what they did yesterday without A.J. Brown. And, some people are going to say, well, it was the Giants. Listen, that Giants team is playing tougher. They're giving good teams for good competition. And they have a young quarterback that they're excited about. They have a young running back that they're excited about. They got a young wide receiver, Malik Neighbors, who they're excited about. Now, Neighbors didn't play, and Cam Scatterboot went down, so it was all on Jackson Dart, really. But they have something to be excited about over there. Now, whether or not the Giants front office handles the situation correctly, whether they get the right coach in the building, that's a different conversation. But that fan base, that Giants team has excitement around it, and they're playing with confidence. They pushed Denver to the brink. They beat the Eagles. They beat the Chargers. They have some pretty good wins on the resume. So you can't look at them as the same Giants team as we know them to be. They'll catch you if you lack on them. So the Eagles had to learn the hard way. They got embarrassed. They come back and drop 38 on their head. So I don't want people to just brush this win off. This was an important win. It shows that you're able to flip that switch even when you slept on the team, because I think they slept on them. I really believe that the Eagles slept on the Giants in that first matchup and didn't expect them to hit them that hard. Eagles said, not gonna catch me again. They came out like gangbusters. I mean, they were very intentional about making life hell for Jackson Dart and that whole team, right? So everything clicked on Sunday for the Philadelphia Eagles. Going into the bye week, you want to get healthy. You want to get healthy. Landon Dickerson has been dealing with injury. He still doesn't have the cleanest bill of health, but he played, I think, the last 2 games and played well. I think he missed that Giants game. So he played well in the Vikings, played well against the Giants in the second go about. But he has to get healthier. Cam Jurgens didn't play. He has to get healthy. He's been dealing with the back, and I think he's dealing with a knee recently. So both Cam and Jurgens have dealt with knee, back, all that kind of stuff. Those guys got to stay off their feet. Lane Johnson, get your rest as well, big dog. That entire offensive line, Brett Toth, Fred Johnson, get your rest. Right? Y'all, they've had a very up and down season. They've struggled. Then the passing game started to figure itself out. Now the running game seems like the blocking is starting to really come to shape, and a lot of this happens because they were playing under center a lot. You know, you can get very creative in your blocking schemes being under center. So I really like what I'm saying for the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, going to the bye week, get healthy. Number 2, going to the bye week, self-scout, figure out where you can improve on. I think the Eagles are going to really hone in on the tape from the past 4 weeks. In particular, I think they're going to really hone in on that Broncos game. And I think they're going to really hone in on, honestly, that Vikings game as well. Because I think the Eagles know they can run the ball. They know that they know what they are when they're like that. I think they need to look into that Vikings tape and find out what made Jalen Hurts so successful in that game, in the air in particular, and continue to feed that and include the running game, because Jalen Hurts, he can do whatever you need him to do. And that's what's been proven, in my humble opinion.